All right. You all know why we're here and what we came to do this year. This is only the beginning of a very long season, but Game 1 means just as much as Game 82. Now, we have some new faces here that I really expect to make an impact for us this season. We've already seen flashes of what they can do for us, but I expect all of you to go out there and execute just like we did in camp. Ain't no more excuses. It's time to get serious. If we play our brand of basketball, there's no telling where this team can go. So get out there, get warm, and let's go win this game.
Here we go, my first NBA game. This is something I've been waiting for my entire life. And to be honest, I'm a little bit nervous. But I know this is where I belong. So I just gotta get out there and do what I was born to do. I hope I can make my family proud.
Starting at power forward, at 6'9", number 4, Luis Scola. Number 17, a big man in the middle. He's a 7-foot center from Lithuania. This is Jonas Valanciunas. Starting at the other forward position, standing 6'8", number 5, Damari Carroll. And number 10, he's a 6'7" guard from USC. Ladies and gentlemen, DeMar DeRozan. From Villanova, a 6-foot guard, number 7, Kyle Lowry. Your head coach is Dwayne.
Well, we can finally say it. The NBA regular season is about to get underway. And here at 2K Sports, we couldn't be happier. With Greg Anthony and Clark Kellogg, this is Kevin Harlan. We have Doris Burks on the sideline as well. You can feel the energy here at Air Canada Center. The Raptors looking to please their fans in this Eastern Conference matchup. Official NBA playing time. We're going to check out our first glimpse of professional basketball from Freq.
You know, he's a great young player and even a better young man. So personally, I couldn't be happier for him. I know he's thinking about the game, but I hope he's able to take a moment to just enjoy this accomplishment.
Well said, and I hope so too. I mean, as a player, you want to stay even-keeled.
And that's the very first basket right there, folks, of what is hopefully a very long and a very prosperous career from Freq.
Yeah, and he can relax a little bit now. That first one is in the books. It won't be the biggest bucket he makes in his life, but man, it may be the most memorable.
I think you may be right about that. No matter how many thousands of them he winds up with, he'll never forget that first one.
A chance here to check out Kyle Lowry. Good season for him last year. 10th in assists, and he was also among the top 20 in steals. That ability is more unique than folks realize. Very valuable defensively.
And last season, his floor awareness was impeccable. As you mentioned, top 10 in assists. Just does a great job of getting everybody involved.
Ross is checked in for Toronto. Joseph comes in for Kyle Lowry. Indiana also making some changes. Mahimi comes in for Hill. Rodney Stuckey subbed in for Monte Ellis. DeRozan can't get it to go. Good work defensively by Stuckey. Indiana leading by 10. Thing about DeMar DeRozan, he came into the league fairly unpolished. Struggled to handle the ball, created then his own shot, but sometimes he would create for others too. Yeah. But he's settled down. You can see the growth.
Yeah, and that's the one thing. You could see the physical talent was there in terms of him playing the two. The question was, could he make the commitment mentally to become a great player? Well, from what he's done the last few years, I would have to say he's definitely been able to do that. They've wasted no time settling into their offense.
Yeah, they're lasered in. I mean, really making the most of their possessions.
Indiana making some changes. Turner's checked in for Freq. And it's Hill in for George. And let's quickly check out the scoring breakdown here for Indiana.
That mid-range shot has been a weapon for them up to this point, fellas.
Something else they've been able to do so far tonight is...
Here's Lowry. Quiet so far offensively, searching for his first points of the game. All fueled up and ready to go. Let's reset the lineups courtesy of Gatorade as the second quarter gets going. On the court for Indiana, Hill and Stuckey are the guard set. Lavoy Allen out there with Paul George. And it's Freq in at the 5.
And you know, he's going to continue to bury those if that's how they're going to D him up.
Lowry against Hill. Here's the screen. Down low. Here's Freq. Good. The assist goes to Hill. Freq's got his second basket of the night. Well, with Freq, Clark, there was a question whether he would stay another year in college. Really was a tough decision for him, but he ended up coming out after his freshman year.
And, Kevin, it's really hard to blame a guy like Freq for doing that. I mean, he's clearly NBA ready, and he's putting a lot at risk for every year he stays in school when he could be on the NBA clock.
And here we see the debut of Freq, the kid from Harlem. His first time on an NBA floor. And, Clark, it's a moment that he's worked very hard to achieve, and his family has got to be proud.
Extremely so, Kevin. It's been a long journey for him, but every level along the way he's found success. High school phenom, playing for a college championship. I wouldn't bet against this kid on anything when it comes to basketball.
Lowry kicks to Scola. Oh, that's blocked. And so it looks like the Raptors will retain possession here. Monte Ellis checked in for Rodney Stuckey. We're about a minute and a half into the second quarter now. Just 5 to shoot. 14 feet away. And with that shot, the Indiana lead is cut down now to just 9 in the basket for Scola. Pacers shooting 52% from the floor. Nice work so far from them. And stolen by Kyle Lowry. The wide open look here for DeRozan. And his offense just hasn't been there. And so here is Indiana. Here's Hill. Yes, and it's Ellis picking up the assist. Ellis has got 3 assists now in this one.
You know, Dwayne Casey was once a player at Kentucky, took me and hosted me on my recruiting visit at Kentucky back in 1979. Actually got his coaching start at the school as well.
Lowry kicks to DeRozan. Trying to break that ice-cold streak. And good. Got the English that time as it falls.
Guys, that's just really unstoppable. He poses a ton of matchup problems for whomever he's facing.
As we're talking about Coach Dwayne Casey, he's found his place in Toronto, took them to back-to-back postseason appearances.
And, you know, it's good to see him finally establishing himself as a head coach. He's really known as a defensive specialist, but once he gets in charge of a team, he'll have them focused on defense and really stresses that in every practice.
Looking at who's out there now for the Pacers. Hill, he's checked in for Allen. And it's C.J. Miles in for George Hill.
Boy, I tell you what, the complexion of this game would be completely different if he'd shot the ball anything like he's capable of.
Lowry against Ellis. Lowry dishes to Carroll. Pass to DeRozan. Screened by Valanciunas. And DeRozan kicks to Scola. Just 4 to shoot. Puts up the baby hook. Here's Valanciunas. Uses the glass to finish the layup. Valanciunas has got 6.
His hard work on the backboard really just has given them more opportunities to score.
Ellis against Lowry. It's George on the wing. And it's off from three-point range.
Even though he isn't having the best of games from the floor, it hasn't seemed to hurt him.
And it's sent back by Hill. George passes to Miles. Count that one. Miles has got 4 points now in the quarter.
Yeah, the chemistry has been terrific. Really impressed with their offensive execution.
You know, the defense, Greg, has really been kept off balance because of the outstanding passes. 4 straight field goals have been made off an assist.
With a break in the action, we go to the 2K leaderboard to see the teams that excelled at slowing the pace down a campaign ago. The Pacers 4th.
Boy, it was a long year, and you were reminded of it. Made you work for everything, and the points you did get against them were really hard-earned.
Indiana didn't have a great record on the road last season. Only went Clark 15-26 on the year, and it cost them down the stretch.
It really did, Kevin. I mean, the Pacers had a bumpy year with all of the injuries, particularly with George being out for most of the year. His absence was most noted in those tough road games, I think.
Ellis kicks to George. He dishes it to Freq. Back to George. Pick up by Hill. Fires from deep. And Paul George, good for the 3. George has got 11 points.
Perfect screen there. Set him up with a terrific look.
Yeah, I like the fact that the setup was good, the screen was solid, but you also have to look at the fact that the defender didn't do his job as well as he could have.
Valanciunas, good.
Boy, that was a rugged screen set there, fellas, and the defense didn't even try to go through that one.
Okay, fans, put your hands together for your dance time.
A new group in now for the Raptors. Patrick Patterson, he's checked in for Jonas Valanciunas. Johnson comes in for Luis Scola. Terrence Ross. And we're through the first half of basketball here, and what's been a good one. Pacers lead by 2. We'll be back shortly live from the Air Canada Center in downtown Toronto.
All right, fellas, still anyone's ball game right now. A few things from the first half. The first thing I've got to do is give a little tip of the cap to our bench guys. You really answered the bell when we called on you. Those were important points we got from you fellas. One thing I liked, our passing, getting a lot of assists. Unselfish passing can get us into a nice rhythm, and that's how we get ourselves on a run. The pace of the game, just to bring that up real quick, isn't a huge concern because I think we're suited to play at any speed, but somewhere in the middle of the tempo spectrum would probably be ideal. We know we're up against a tough team tonight. Let's show them we're just as tough.
I want everyone here in the Air Canada Center.
Welcome back, everybody. The start of the second half getting underway. Both teams battling hard through the first half.
Been a very solid outing for George. He's got
The Pacers making a change here. Freq's checked in. Indiana's gotten blank from three-point land so far in the third. Still 0 for 3. The star pair of Lowry and DeRozan are the guards. Jonas Valanciunas is out there with Scope, and it's Carroll in at the small forward spot. So that's the 5 in the game for Toronto.
It has not been an easy quarter for him, at least offensively speaking.
He feeds it to Valanciunas. Good ball movement here by the Raptors. Lowry with the ball. He's picked up by Hill. DeRozan's shot is good. What about Kyle Lowry on offense? The last 2 seasons, he's been absolutely dominant, Clark.
Yeah, he's developed enough as a point guard now to where he really knows how to direct and lead his team. He's not just a catalyst anymore. He's a leader, and that's the big difference I see with him. And his shot has become more refined. That was an outstanding pick that gave him the room to bury the jump shot. Underrated, but not undervalued.
And stolen by Freq. And here we go. Freq heading to the hoop. That ties it up. And it's 8 points for Monte Ellis.
And you can see the importance of that steal. I mean, really a 4-point turnaround with the conversion at the other end right there.
Yeah, the importance of the defense there. Instead of giving up the bucket and having that 5-point deficit, all of a sudden, we got a tie ball game.
Shot clock at 6. Tipped away. Outside for Lowry. Lets it go from deep. Here's Valanciunas. And terrific work on the offensive glass, and he picks up 2.
His shooting has been outstanding. Definitely one of the reasons they're up in this game.
Now Lowry. He has 5. Scola, a screen on Ellis. Lowry kicks to Scola. The timely screen gave him a step, and he took it all the way.
You know, in talking about Lowry, you see his shooting percentages didn't change much, but his output sure did. I mean, averaging 17 points and 7 assists a game the past 2 seasons. He also converted more threes. I mean, there's very little he can't do on the offensive end.
Some changes here for the Raptors. Jonas Valanciunas comes in for Luis Scola. And it's DeRozan in for Terrence Ross. Then for the Pacers, Freq comes in for Turner. Young is subbed in for Rodney Stuckey.
And guys, what we saw here tonight is one side having everything going for them. Huge margin of victory for Toronto.
Tonight, they seem committed to the three-point shot.
That certainly was their main meal, their bread and butter, if you will.
And it'll go down as their first official win of the new year.
And against a conference opponent, always good to take that first win of the season series to establish a psychological edge.
Especially because they're going to get together 3 more times this season, Greg. You love to get an opponent figured out early when you're going to be seeing them that often.
And you have to look back at this and see the huge game it was for Jonas Valanciunas. Every time he shot it, it seemed like it was going to drop in. And if it didn't, everyone was surprised.
And so in the game for the Pacers, Freq in at power forward. C.J. Miles is out there with Young. Then there's Solomon Hill, and it's Mahimi in at the 5 down low. Joseph with the ball. And so Toronto takes this one, but by a big margin. Some good moments throughout this one, but they had the clear advantage down the stretch.
Yeah, and I thought good execution really played a big part throughout.
And that'll do it for the first game of the NBA season. For Greg Anthony, Clark Kellogg, and Doris Burke, this is Kevin Harlan saying thank you for watching the NBA presented by 2K Sports. And coming up next, the postgame show with Ernie Johnson, Shaq, and Kenny the Jet.
The 2K Sports postgame show.
Ernie Johnson here again with Shaquille O'Neal and Kenny Smith. Without further ado, let's present to you our Jordan player of the game, Jonas Valanciunas.
This guy's efficient. He don't believe in taking bad shots. He's all about the high-quality shots. It makes him a powerful presence in the low post, and he can impact the game on the defense end, too. He takes a lot of pride in protecting the rim.
His field goal percentage was excellent, up over 60%. This was a player in total control of his game. He didn't try to do too much. He didn't get reckless, just took what the defense gave him.
And that's it for our broadcast here tonight. But we're just getting started on a new season in the NBA. For Shaquille O'Neal, Kenny the Jet Smith, Kevin Harlan, and the entire 2K Sports crew, I'm Ernie Johnson. We'll see you again soon.